What's up, guys? So let's go over my watch list going into next week. The market is still open. We're about to close in about 15 minutes or so, and I'm not going to do any new trading. I'm actually all cash going into this weekend. So what I'm looking at is let's take a look at the indexes first. Actually, let's start with our internals. I don't know why I don't have my internals pulled up. Okay, so put call starting to get into that zero point 0.7 territory. This is the lowest it's been in a long time. So let's pay attention to that because that could be a potential topping pattern for us. Okay. So it might not happen immediately, but you can see how quickly in the past, these past two times we've gotten here, we've reversed. So keep a close eye on this in the next few weeks. Okay. So something to keep an eye on for sure. That could be a topping pattern that could lead us to a multi-month top. Now, last month or last July is when the markets ended up clear that. The last time the markets topped out was back in, let's see if we can find it. Okay, 2023. That's what I was looking for. August. Oh, sorry. July. We topped out in July here at the end of July. Okay. So that's one thing, key point to pay attention to. We topped out there, and here's our pullback. Okay. So maybe this might be a place of concern. Now we can take a look here at July 2023, the 21st, when we got to that 7.0 reading. Here we go. We had a couple more days of upside. We made one more new all-time high, just barely gapped above it, came down, and then we sold off pretty hard, and that created this correction, which created a weekly squeeze for us to push to the upside. Okay, and then let's take a look at this other one just for fun. April 1st, 2022. So let's see. April. April. Okay, so that was here. So look at kind of the destruction we had as a result that last time. Okay, we had a correction from 453.61, 453.61 to ultimately we came all the way down here, which let's just pay attention to this one. Uh, almost $100 drop in the S&P 500 SPY. Okay, so let's be aware of that, be cautious. Now, okay, with that being said, let's take a look at some other things. So bonds, they look like they're making a little bit of a rally, popping off 2 ATR and coming back up. So that's a good sign. The VIX doing nothing, just holding support here at around $12. So we can keep an eye on that. If we break support or if we bounce, we might have a reversal. The dollar is looking bearish here. So that's very interesting. Let's be aware of that. That is a cautionary tale there. Or so that would be honestly good for the markets. So let's be cautious of that and pay attention to that. So, I mean, but the main thing is the put call. That one kind of goes above all of this. So I'm keeping a close eye on. So it might be a little more risk off. Okay. Let's take a look at the weekly on the dollar. Dollars in a chop box. Okay. You can see this orange candle here. It's a bearish sign. So okay, that happened here. And then you can see multiple time frames were bearish on this candle here. And that's what ultimately sent us to the downside. So um dollar looks bearish, but we cannot ignore the put call. Okay. Let's move on here. So as for the S&P 500, am I going to fight this trend? Most definitely not. I'm going to be cautious, be aware of what's going on in regards to the internals, but they're not the end all be all. Price is the number one thing that we want to pay attention to. So you can see here, we created this range. We broke out of that range this week and had a nice push up. And now we are hitting one of our extension targets for fibs. And we are heading really close to, we are getting really close to the 3 ATR. So right now we're at that 1618 extension. And so I don't think we'll get to this 2.0, but right now I'm just paying attention to, okay, we're at resistance level, but we also have to be aware of the fact that these blue candles show up when there's multiple time frames telling us there is buyers. So that's what led to this push up. Okay. Same thing for QQQ. And that's what led me to be bullish this week. I wasn't just initially bullish this week. I was bullish on Tuesday because of the setups we had. So you can see here, we had these blue candles, buyers stepping in, multiple time frames giving us buy signals, and boom, we had a nice move to the upside. Okay. That's the main thing, multi-time frame analysis. Okay. So now we are blowing past these targets for QQQ. I would expect Monday to be relatively flat. Let's do this. I'm gonna hop on my other screen to look at, okay, what kind of news do we have next week? Okay, next week, Wednesday, we have Tuesday and Wednesday, we have Powell speaking at 10 a.m. both days. Okay. And then we have CPI on Thursday, and we have PPI on Friday. Wow, this is going to be a pretty insane week, guys. So we've got Powell Tuesday, Wednesday, major report on Thursday, and major report on Friday. So I would imagine Friday is going to be relatively flat. And I think that now that we're pushing through 3 ATR for QQQ, we're right near it for SPY. I think SPY could have maybe a little more upside on Friday. But then after that, or Monday, and then we're going to see some either a pullback or some chop sideways. In response, everyone's going to say, oh, we're chopping around because we have upcoming news. That may be part of it, but we are overextended at this point. So now we need to be cautious. Okay. So I think QQQ a little bit maxed out here in terms of upside. SPY, we're getting there. So we have to be cautious to the upside. That goes in line with put call, but the put call is a lot more longer term directional signal. Okay. Next thing we've got the XLK. This thing is you can see here we had the multiple time frame buy signals, and that led us to the push up here, which I don't know why it's not showing up on QQQ, but you can see them on the 2 hour here, the 1 hour, 4 hour, all that good stuff. We had a nice move to the upside as a result. Okay, so let's delete this, delete this. And so now what we're looking at is they're not, so QQQ, weekly squeeze, firing off to the upside. Last time we had a weekly squeeze fire off to the upside. This made for some excellent swing trading. And so we want to think in this terms of the same idea, okay? That we're probably going to get some really nice swing trading as a result. And we've seen that. We've caught Microsoft, we caught Netflix this week. They're both up nicely on the day. But so we have to be aware this weekly squeeze is firing off on QQQ. We're 3 weeks in, so I definitely remaining bullish until the signal dies out, and then maybe that put call will give us something to pay attention to. Okay, we're almost at 500 for QQQ. I think we're destined to get there. Yeah. Okay. So setups into next week. Let's take a look. So NVIDIA, I like this one. We have a 2 hour buy signal. on this name. Okay. Uh, that's not enough for me to want to enter into the trade. So I'm being patient and I'm thinking maybe this 4 hour will start to shape up and give us a buy signal. Okay. I like this to the upside. I think that there's great potential with this one. Um, and I think we could see a nice move to the upside as a result of this. So I'm keeping an eye on this one, keeping an eye on semiconductors. Another one that I kind of leads me into. So just to wrap up NVIDIA, nothing to do here just yet. We've got buy signal on the 2 hour, but I think with time we can continue to get a little bit better of a setup and trade this one to the upside. Uh, Other semiconductors that look great. AMD. Okay, so AMD, this one has been a little bit of the trouble child, right? This has been not running with the semiconductors like the rest of them, right? We had this last fantastic push and then sold off ever since. Okay. We go to the weekly time frame. I think this thing is trying to set up for a reversal. Okay. We've got earnings, strong potential that we could run into earnings, which is at the end of the month. So let's keep an eye on this one. We might end up we are printing a buy signal here on the daily time frame. I think the 4 hour has now fired off, but I'm not going to buy it up here. But I do like that if we can get some buy signals, I think we could try to ride this weekly squeeze back up into at least 200. So this is something to keep high on the watch list. Now, this is a little bit of a swing shot squeeze, so we can be patient with this one. You can kind of see here when we had the slingshot squeeze here. We got that first yellow bar, and then we kind of sold off and then turned higher, and then finally got the push. So we can be patient, wait for a couple bars of momentum shifting, and then maybe some lower time frame setups, and we can look to take this to the upside. Okay, so that's that one. Though that's pretty high up on the watch list here in terms of what I'm watching into next week. So NVIDIA, AMD, two things that I think money will start to flow into, which we've already seen it start in AMD. I think it's just time for it to, we'll see it here hopefully soon. From there, other things that I have an eye on, I think Meta, I don't think this one is done yet. I'm thinking that we need to wait on this one for some sort of lower time frame setup and get an entry on this one. Now, the daily has a buy signal, the 3 day has a buy signal, the weekly has a buy signal. And we finished and closed at a new all-time high today. So we have to be aware of that. You can see how we just broke this key level here at around 530. So I am looking for more continuation on this one. And with the strength that it's seen, we had a really great earnings report last time. So I'm thinking we may continue to rally and its potential, we could see us move into this profit zone area of around like 565 to 570. So let's keep an eye on that. We've got a key psych level at 550, but I'm looking for any lower time frame setups to get into Meta and trade it to the upside because it looks great. Another one is Netflix. We played this one earlier this week, actually today, and that's just kind of where our targets were. So we played the 30-minute and 1 hour squeezes and got in right here, caught this move up, this push into these extensions here. Now we're kind of trading sideways. We've got a 4 hour buy signal. Now let's see, okay, can we get another entry on this one, which I think this is probably a pretty good pullback area to enter into. So we'll keep an eye on this one, see if we can get some more buy signals and trade this one to the upside and potentially look for an area to enter here. So, and the last one, if we can get some setups in Tesla. We'll look for it. But you can see here we had a 15-minute end of day squeeze. I think this one could probably push up and give us another push. It's starting to get a little extended here, but the thing is, when momentum is going, you just got to follow it and roll with it. So this is another one to keep on the watch list. These are the main things I'm watching into this week. I hope this helps. Thank you guys for watching, and no way. Okay, I was sharing. All right, guys, false alarm. I thought I thought that I did not share my screen that entire time, but hey, we are here. I might cut this out, might leave it as a little blooper for you, but that's my watch list. Hope this helps. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.